Hello, Comrade Peers. 1 week after its start, I watched Napoleon, the movie, with my wife and my son in cinema. I was warned by Alex from Storm of Steel, and so I knew what to expect. I thought. But Alex was polite and politer than I had imagined. In the meantime, I had a few days to reflect on the movie, and I watched various reviews about it here on YouTube. The result is sad, but in my opinion, realistic. At first, the analysis will contain a few spoilers. If someone wants to see a pure film review without many spoilers, I will provide 2 different recommended links below. If you think someone is acting irrationally, you usually lack information about the person's situation and their goals. Ridley Scott is an experienced director. He has a staff of professionals, and his production company will keep an eye on what he's doing. What they show us is what they want to show. My thesis is that Napoleon was ridiculed as a historical figure in order to topple his monument. This is a deliberate anti-Napoleonic movie. Since the Waterloo film is quoted several times in Ridley Scott's film, you know that he knows it. The man is doing his homework. In a Waterloo scene, Napoleon dictates several letters at once while studying the maps for his campaign. In the current film, Napoleon clumsily tries to dictate a letter while shaving and cutting himself in the process. A drastic difference in presentation. When he flees from the Council of 500, falls down the stairs, and during the scuffle at the door, he is said to appear helpless. His brother and his soldiers have to save him. He is not a leader here, just a careerist with a bit of luck. Since the role of Napoleon is not supposed to be a popular figure, he is given Josephine as companion. That's why her role seems deeper and more understandable. Joaquin Phoenix isn't as bad as you think he is. He's supposed to portray the role in this way. Many think the film is broken between the portrayal of a great general and the relationship with Josephine. Most people who watch this channel will probably agree that military and political issues were rarely touched and mostly misrepresented in this film. But I also see the same thing when it comes to the portrayal of the love relationship. Mostly it's about sex and producing a successor here. As a husband, in most scenes with both protagonists sitting on the sofa, I had the feeling of witnessing a marital row. And when they weren't arguing, Napoleon behaved like an animal in heat. In today's era of sexism debates, we know what to think of someone who sees a woman as nothing more than a birthing machine, like Napoleon does here. Towards the end, he receives another posthumous instruction from Josephine, that without her, he is nothing. The climax is almost reached when it is not the guards who flee at Waterloo, but Napoleon himself. Only to be lectured about the fire of Moscow by 2 young girls on Elba, after which he then dies. What I didn't notice at the beginning of the film, but became more and more noticeable from Egypt onwards was that Napoleon was once again portrayed as short in stature. Most were filmed or chosen to be taller than him. Not too obvious, but constantly hinted at. Many more examples could be given, but I mean, if we go through the film in our minds, we'll hardly remember a scene of greatness regarding Napoleon. Even Austerlitz was robbed of its sun. Ridley Scott tells us that Napoleon was an opportunist who was lucky enough to meet Josephine, without whom he ended up being all he had left: nothing. The scary thing is that this is a historical view that many are now shown. If you saw it yourself in the cinema, then the things must be true, didn't they? Some of the mainstream reviews in Germany already indicate this. The film is not great, but it is good cinema because of the actors, costumes, and the nice battle scenes. May I quote? There is the word Napoleon complex, and that's not coincidental. This man has a big ego problem, had a great need for recognition, and because of this need for recognition, he liked to go to war and also liked to get in trouble with people. End of the quote. This very wrong message is a problem for us as wargamers. It can quickly be reinterpreted to ourselves. That's why the film is not only a disappointment, I was really looking forward to it, but also a danger. It deliberately conveys a false image that is also not very entertaining. Many will accept this image. Most people who see this film will never read a book about Napoleon. And we will be confronted with the question, how can one find something like this interesting? Or also reenact, paint it, or play with the figures? That's a question what we have to deal with. Till then.